And it's actually good uh, that we didn't go live at 8 o'clock. I mean, it's like 1 minute after, but it's good because I had a sneezing fit that just hit me just before I was about to press the button to go live. Just had a sneezing fit. So um, bear with me. It may come back. Allergy season. You know what can you say? It's allergy season. There is. It looks like I don't know how to explain it. It looks very eerie and ominous the last few days here in southern Ontario because like most of Canada, and I'm sure you guys in the US probably know about this because you're getting, at least in the northern part states, the parts you're probably being affected by. There are so many forest fires going on in Canada right now, from our west coast even to our east coast. And in Nova Scotia, there's forest fires, and it's early in the season. Yeah, we normally get forest fires throughout the season, but usually not this time of year. I mean, but it's been a dry spring, and I guess it's not even officially summer yet, but for all intents and purposes, I guess you can say it's summer. But it's just been weird because all the smoke and the pollution and the smog, I guess it's not smog, it's smoke from the burning forest fires have come to southern Ontario. And in the morning, it looks really weird. And then midday, it looks weird even more. And then you go outside, you can actually smell, it smells like a campfire, which is usually good because I love camping, but not in circumstances like this. So, um, yeah, so maybe that's why I'm sneezing, even though I'm indoors and have nothing to do. I'm in a basement, nothing to do with being outside. I wanted to be actually outside because I did a podcast probably 2 years ago outside on my patio in the backyard, and it was good. And I wanted to do it again, but now with this forest fire smell and all that kind of stuff going on. Anyways, I haven't even. We're 3 minutes in. I haven't even welcome to the Regen Nation podcast for the month of June. We're in June already, and 4 weeks consistent. We had a special edition one 2 weeks ago for the Ford merger with Tesla, and that was like a late breaking news type of thing. But that was a special edition. But for the most part, we've been on time here, on schedule every 4 weeks. This Wednesday, so I don't know if it would be the first Wednesday of every month. I don't know. Anyways, I'll tell you. I've got it all in my phone here. So before I go, I'll tell you when the next one's coming up, and I have them all pre done, not pre done. They're live, but predated is what I should say. I'm all predated, and we've got a lot of stuff, so I shouldn't be rambling on. I should just start the show. But yeah, so we got that out of the way. I'm trying to think what else I need to say. Oh, you know what I should do? I should. I see some people. Let me go in the chat. Um, if you're in the chat, if you're watching this and you can hear my audio, can you please say hello down in the chat? It'll save me having to go onto YouTube and checking to see if we're live. I'm pretty sure we are. I mean, I'm thinking somebody in the last 4 minutes would have said, "We can't hear you." But if anybody's listening, can you do it quickly, or don't make me have to go check? Uh, okay, I'm gonna go check. Hold on a second. These are things you just got to do, right? Um, bear with me. Bear with me. I'm like 95% sure we are, but it would help if I was in the right account. Okay, I think we are. Like I said, I'm just gonna double check. It says live, but that doesn't mean you can hear me. Okay, you might get a little bit of, yeah. Okay, I can hear myself. That means we're good. We are running on all cylinders. So, okay. So, like I said, we got a jam-packed show. All my audio listeners, I apologize for that. What I just did there. I guess I could do it ahead of time, but anyways, I just did it. So let's get on to the first topic of the month, I guess. And keep in mind, some of these, because I'm doing this, stretching it out to 1 month intervals for the podcast, some of it may be a few weeks old. But you know what? It's important news for the month. I'm putting it out there just in case someone's listening and they're not fully up to date. If you have any questions, before I forget, if you're listening and you have any questions, if you're listening live, uh, put it down in the chat below. If I can answer it, I'll answer it. If I don't know the answer, I'm not going to make it up. I'll tell you I don't know. And we'll try to find the answer for you. But if you have any questions or any comments, put it down in the chat below as the show is going on. And I'll try to, I'm by myself this week, so I'll try to monitor the chat and do the best I can. So the first one, and like this is something, like I said, we spoke about 2 weeks ago. So it was important breaking news, but Ford adopted the NACS. And if you don't know what NACS is, it's North American Charging Standard, brought on by Tesla. I'm not going to go through the whole entire thing, but it's important. It was amazing. If you want to hear more information about that, or the whole dialogue I had about that with a panel of guests and stuff like that, the podcast right before this one, I think it was number 64, I want to say 64 or 65. It actually says it's what it is. It's Ford and Tesla, the merger, about NACS. So go check that out. But I just wanted to bring that up because I don't want to make sure that you guys realize that I haven't forgotten about it. It's just, this is news. And it's huge news. It's not even like a little bit of news. But the reason I wanted to touch on that, how they're adopting it, like I said, I'm not going to get into all the details and everything, is because the CCS coalition, they're angry. And rightfully so. I guess they feel threatened. I don't know. I don't. Should they feel angry? I don't know. But they're angry, and they're like, here's the picture on from the article at Electric. There's a picture of the supercharger and then a picture of the CCS. Now, these aren't to scale. The Tesla supercharger is obviously zoomed in, and the CCS adapter or the CCS plug looks a lot smaller. But trust me, it's huge. It's a lot bigger. But in a nutshell, there was a spokesperson for the coalition. His name. Okay, so before I go any further, let me let you know it's a weird name. The coalition, they have an acronym, and it's Charin. It's weird. It's Charging Interface Initiative, and somehow they got that acronym. But I'll read it verbatim here. In response to Ford Motor Company's announcement on May 25th to utilize the North American Charging Standard, NACS, proprietary network in 2025 Ford EV model of 2025 Ford EV models, the Charging Interface Initiative, or CHARIN, and its members remain committed to providing EV drivers with a seamless and interoperable charging experience using the Combined Charging System, or CCS. Now, just that's I read it verbatim. That's exactly what they said in one of their releases or quotes or something like that. But that is a joke. Like, they remain committed to providing EV drivers with seamless and interoperable charging experience. It's nothing but the opposite of that, CCS. I mean, if it doesn't take Tesla to save EVs and public charging, we can definitely not rely on these guys. I mean, okay, maybe CCS itself, the standard, maybe shouldn't get the blame. Maybe it's the charging companies, the network companies, like the Electrify America, like ChargePoint and EVgo and all those stuff. Maybe they're the ones to blame because they've made it so cumbersome. They've got hardware. I don't know, but the standard that they're using isn't working. Whether, like I said, I don't know who's to blame, whether it's them or the this Charin, or basically the CCS. They go on in this article to talk about a bunch of other stuff too. But I just wanted to read you that one thing because I thought that was pretty ironic that they would say a seamless and interoperable charging experience. So they're mad. Go read the article for yourself. It goes on to talk about other stuff, and they quote a few other things. And in this article that I think was done by it was done by Fred. Fred goes on at the very end and uh, gives his take, how he says that there's no doubt that they're losing the battle, or that they will, or they have lost the battle. And yeah, here's a picture. If you're watching at home and you're watching the video, here's a picture of the actual scale of a CCS, a J1772, which is level 2, and then a Tesla adapter. This is the input interface or cross section of it, and it's comical how small it is, but how much more efficient it is. So just want to show you that. So Ford, and you know what? It's been 2 weeks and nobody else has jumped on. Maybe they're in talks. Maybe this takes a long time. Maybe this doesn't happen overnight. So maybe that's why we haven't heard anything. But nobody, since we've had that last podcast and we took everyone's bets of who'd be the next one, I think I might have been the one to say that it'll happen in 2 weeks, or at least 2 weeks. So I was wrong if that's the case. But we're still waiting to see who the next company, or the company, who the next company is going to be to jump on board next. Moving right along. Next topic. Oh, that was Tesla and that was Ford. Now we're moving on to Rivian. This just happened a few days ago, and I thought it's important to bring up because, it's important. Whenever there's an EV fire, the mainstream media is all over it, and I'm pretty sure down in the States they probably went through this all, just jumped on this. I don't know why. It's proven fact. Stats are out there. I don't know why these mainstream media just don't use their common sense and use their research skills and see that ice fires are something like 400 times more likely, or 4,000. I think, sorry, I saying correctly. I think it's over 4,000 times more likely to have a vehicle fire than an EV fire. Anyways, this one is a Rivian. It's an R1T by the looks of it. Once again, this is from Electric, from Fred Lambert, put this one out. Yeah, it was an R1T. And if you're watching at home, you can see there's a photo. There's, I think, just one photo. I haven't seen any others of it, just dead on. And all you audio listeners, go look for, just Google, Rivian R1T fire or Rivian truck fire, and I'm sure this is going to pop up on one of the first hits on Google. But if I can, I guess, describe this as best as I can, it's a front view of a Rivian R1T at a charging station. Ironically, I believe it's Electrify America, and according to this article, it's in California, and all the doors are open, but just the hood. Obviously, you can tell it's an aluminum hood because it's all but gone, but melted away. So the hood, the front area, majority, or at least half of the windshield is burnt and cracked from the heat. And it looks like there's some fire that intruded into the cabin of the car, even though the steering wheel still seems to be intact there. But the majority of the damage, or it looks like where it started from, is the left hand, the driver's side. I don't know whether to say left or right, depending on which way you're looking, whether it's the passenger or driver's. But on the driver's side of the front, ironically, where the charge port is for the Rivian R1T, that's where it looks like it's all melted. You can see melted body trim and stuff like that, maybe even aluminum that's melted to the ground and touching the ground. So it looks like, I would be willing to guess that's where, and I'm not no fire investigator, no fire expert, but it looks like that's where it originated from. If you had to ask me for an uneducated guess, the whole the whole driver's side headlight assembly, where they have those stadium lights and stuff like that, is gone. The whole driver's side bumper is gone up until about a good 20%, 25% of that side is gone. So yeah, we don't know. everything is speculation right now. I'm speculating as I'm looking at this picture. If you go down in the article, it says they don't know who it is. I'm sorry, not who it is. They don't know what the cause is. They don't know if it's the vehicle itself or if it was the charger, which is Electrify America. And like I said, we've had so many problems and so many reported issues with Electrify America that it definitely could be the charger. Because it looks like it's the charge port, there's obviously some kind of heating or excessive heating going on between the cable or the port. Once again, we're speculating here, but it doesn't look like from this picture that the battery pack was the start or the origin of the fire, which most people say, oh yeah, these battery packs explode and everything. Actually, I think if you go down further in the article, there's a closer picture there, that Rivian was contacted for comment, and it says, quote, from Rivian, "We are aware of the incident. We are conducting a full investigation. Nobody was harmed," which is the best thing. That's really good. I'm adding that part in. "And at this time, it does not appear that the vehicle's high voltage battery was involved." So that's just one quick little sentence right now from Rivian. At least they're saying something. If this was Tesla, we all know they wouldn't say a word. So Rivian's coming out and saying that they're investigating it, but right now it doesn't look like it's a high voltage. Just wanted to bring that one up because this is the same time, and I'm not going to get into this article, but the same time that, where is it at the top here? The Jaguar I-Pace is being recalled because of battery fires. I think that 8 battery fires. They've only sold like under 7,000, like 6,800 or 6,600 I-Paces in the last 5 years, and 8 of them caught fire. So it's not a huge percent, but it's enough to, they better look into it. And ironically, they use the same, I believe, LG Chem battery system or battery packs as the Chevy Bolt, which was also recalled, and they had to fix their stuff. And so, like I said, I'm not getting into that article, but newsworthy all the same that Rivian did. And I think this is the first one, at least the first one reported, that caught fire. I don't recall if you recall hearing about a Rivian truck or SUV catching fire since they've been out. Let me know down in the comments below, or shoot me an email. I'll stand corrected, but I don't recall of one. So moving right along, the next topic is going to be, this is, this is what I titled the actual title of the podcast for this month, because I thought it was amazing. And people's talked about it. I don't want to say no one's talked about it. Let me rephrase that. Nobody in the mainstream media, I haven't turned on CBS or ABC or CNN or in here in Canada, like CTV or City News, and heard Tesla Model Y was the best-selling vehicle in the world in Q1 of 2023. I haven't heard that. We're hearing it in online media that has EVs in mind and that kind of interest and stuff like that. Yeah, you're hearing it there, but this is big news. This is the beginning, and I don't know if it's something that would have or should have happened earlier, minus COVID, but whether it is, that's a debate for another time. But Julio says here, yeah, I'm right. I'm right for, I'm not sure whether it was the vehicle fires or the Rivian or the Tesla Model Y. Either way, thanks for chiming in. But yeah, the Tesla Model Y in Q1, so last quarter of 2023, so anywhere between January and the end of March, the Tesla Model Y was the best-selling vehicle in the world. Let me scroll down and give you some numbers here. This was compiled by JATO data, JATO data, which is a Motor One affiliate that compiled these things. They took sales data from 53 markets all around the world, and there's actually, and keep in mind, if anyone doesn't know, I didn't know, so I say keep in mind, but I didn't know Toyota had the #1 selling car. I I could have probably guessed Toyota. I would have said Toyota or Volkswagen. But it was Toyota. Okay, here's the list here. So Tesla Model Y in Q1 sold 67,200 vehicles. The next in line was a Toyota Corolla, and that car is just so damn popular worldwide. It was close, but still behind with 256,400. Then the Hilux, and the Hilux is not something here in North America, but it's worldwide. It is a very popular SUV or truck, and that sold 214,700. Obviously, if it sold that much around the world, followed by the RAV4 and then the Camry. So the top 5, 4 of them are Toyotas. Does that say that they're dominating? And I'm not sitting here giving Toyota credit because I'm not keen on Toyota's EV platform or lack thereof. But the Tesla Model Y, I think Elon said it, 2-3 years ago? And when he said it, I'll be honest, I was like, really? You really think so? Like, that's a bold statement. And I don't know if it was on time, like he predicted in terms of when he predicted. And once again, COVID could have been a factor in that. But we are here. It's the best-selling car. And I don't even know if he said it'd be the best-selling car in the world. He did say it was going to be the best-selling car, if I remember correctly, in Toyota, in Tesla, in their lineup. I could be wrong, but I don't think he was talking worldwide. But that's some impressive numbers. Julio has a question here. Do you think that includes trucks as well, or is it just cars? Good question. I should know this answer. Let me go look at the article and see what else it says here. Well, you know what? I think the Hilux SUV truck, I mean, some people could say that there's a difference. I chalk them in as the same thing, but no, it doesn't say here, or at least maybe I'm missing it in the article, whether it's cars or just trucks, Julio. But I know why you're asking that, because of the F-150, right? I would either way. I don't know I don't have the answer for you, and I wish I did, buddy. But either way, it's impressive. It's like with these numbers, it says here in the article. And now keep in mind, we're looking at the US, we're looking at Berlin, and we're looking at Shanghai. These are the 3 places around the world that's spitting out these Model Ys. But what they're saying in this article is they're on track for well over 1 million cars or just Model Ys in 2023. Now, the amazing thing about this, other than the fact in itself that they're the best-selling car in Q1 of this year, is that, short of something else, natural disaster, I don't want to jinx anything, so I'm not going to call anything on because I'm a little superstitious. But short of another major worldwide issue, I can't see them being less come Q2, which we're just a few weeks away from, and then Q3 and then Q4. So even if they do these numbers, what was the number again? 267,000, which I think they'll probably surpass. But even if they do the same, I mean, unless Toyota pulls up his socks and spits out another, 11,000 to overtake them or take back the lead, I think the Model Y is going to do good for the year. And I don't want to jinx anything. I don't want to go too far in advance and jinx anything, but they're looking pretty good. They're sitting in a pretty good position to do this for the entire year. And then come December 31st, when they tally all the numbers, probably early January, we could find, or maybe in February, we could find out that the Tesla Model Y was the best-selling vehicle worldwide in all of 2023. That would be a game changer. I mean, it already is to some extent, just this quarter, and maybe it's foreshadowing what the rest of the year is going to be like. But yeah, very impressive. Just like Julio says here, very impressive for sure. Okay, moving right along. We're going through this fast. We're 25 minutes into the show, and we're like on our fifth topic, and we're moving all around. We're doing Tesla, we're doing Rivian, we did the Ford thing, and we touched on Jaguar a little bit. So why stop there? Let's keep mixing it up. The next one is our good old friend Mary Barra. Barra. I don't know how you pronounce it, but let's say Barra. No, say Barra. I don't know. Whatever. She's the GM. If anyone doesn't know who I'm talking about and who it sounds like I'm got Tourette's and I'm just blurting out different sounds. Mary Barra is the CEO of General Motors. She's been for a while. She's in the news every now and then, and she's in the news again. She finally admits that Tesla has the lead in electric cars. And then, which is good. Let's break it down. First, this article is from Electric and Fred Lambert again. First, let's just say that break it down into little pieces. Yeah, that's great that she's finally come out, even though the president of the United States doesn't know this, or maybe Mary didn't tell him that Tesla is leading in electric vehicles and electric cars. And then she goes on to say, but she doesn't see electric vehicles being profitable in the $30,000 to $40,000 range till the end of the decade. So this is one of those things where I think leaders or people that run companies or that are leading a certain company or corporation, they owe it to their employees to do their homework in terms of, she should know, unless she's just oblivious to it and flat out lying, which I'm not going to sit here and call her a liar, but she should know that Tesla is putting out a car that's under $40,000 and it is profitable. She should also know in her own company that she has a car that is under $40,000, actually under $30,000. The only thing is, maybe it's not profitable. Maybe she's, by her saying this, maybe she's admitting that the Bolt is not profitable. And you know what? That could be the reason why they're stopping it. They're stopping production at the end of 2023 because they don't see any profit in it. But does that mean all the other, GM EVs and the Ultium platform that's about to come out, that they're not going to be profitable? And we've heard this before. I think we've heard it from Ford. I think we've heard it from Stellantis that they're not profitable. We know that, right? But is GM finally coming out and saying this? Let me scroll down into the article here and bring you some and give you some quotes or stuff that she said. Getting back to the first point where she said Tesla is in the lead, it was one of those backhanded compliments, because she said Tesla's in the lead with profitability and technology and scale, but that lead is not permanent. So once again, she cannot just say one thing and just leave it at that. She has to just add that little bit at the very end. Just have that last dig. Some people are like that, I guess. I don't know. But so I guess basically she's saying that they will overtake Tesla one day. But here's the part where she added about profitability. Quote, EV battery costs are still too high to build profitable, I keep having trouble with that word. Sorry, guys. Mass market vehicles that sell for $30,000 to $40,000, Barr said. But she predicted EVs and combustion vehicle costs will equal, quote unquote, sometime in the latter part of this decade, maybe a little longer, close quotes. So she sees it, I guess. I don't know. You consider that positive or negative? She sees it, but a decade off, like close to a decade off, or at the end of this decade. It's weird because, and Fred says this in his article, it's strange comment because she's talking about $30,000 to $40,000 price range, but they've promised the Equinox EV, which there was some leaked photos of it today, I think it was, or yesterday, that's supposed to start around $30,000. But does that mean that it's not going to be profitable right out the gate? I mean, usually most ramp ups of new cars and stuff like that, they're not profitable right out the gate. But even as they scale, does that mean they're not going to be profitable? I mean, speaking of profitability, we've got the numbers just a few weeks ago from Rivian, and it's absurd how much it costs them to make a vehicle. The numbers are coming down; they're getting better, but they're not there yet to be profitable. I think they said by the end of this year, or the end of next year, they should be. And then you've got Lucid. Lucid's another car company that is burning through huge amounts of money, and then somehow, some way, they keep getting rescued and keep getting topped up by other investors, let's just say. So yeah, I mean, good. I'm glad, but when will that end? Like when will the well run dry, or when will they be put out of their misery? Who knows? And then Fred's in his electrics take. He says that there's going to be several profitable EV options in around the $30,000 to $40,000 range in the next few years. This isn't one of my articles, but the Volvo EX30, I think it was, there were some articles on it today and some videos. It looks like a nice little car, and it's fast in terms of acceleration, 3.4 seconds, 0 to 60. And it's, I think, $35,000. I think Mary didn't know that. I mean, she didn't talk to her Volvo counterpart before she went on record stating this. So, sorry, Mara. I keep saying Mara. I'm trying to mix the two names, Mary. But I think, once again, you're wrong in this. Moving right along. Oh, by the way, if you want to tell me I'm wrong, or you doubt what I'm saying regarding this, leave me a comment down below or send me an email. My email address is questions, with an S, plural, questions at theregenchannel.com. Questions at theregenchannel.com. I should put it up here. I don't have it. No, I don't have it on a banner. Sorry. So if you have any questions and you're like listening the audio portion of it, or you're listening to this after the fact, or you want to, discuss a difference of opinion in anything I say here regarding these news articles, just shoot me an email, or find me on social media. You know where I am. Moving on to the next one. Now we're back to Tesla. We're all around the board here, folks, this week, which is good. I like that. I like mixing it up. This is the Regen channel, which is all EVs, predominantly Tesla, because I drive a Tesla, and that seems to be the biggest newsmaker is Tesla. But with manufacturers putting out EVs, I think it's only fair to do other EV news, and that's why I bring you that kind of variety. So moving right along, right back to Drive Tesla Canada. New photos give us the best look at the Tesla Cybertruck interior yet. Now, this picture's been out for a few weeks, so I'm not saying it's new. It's probably been out for 2 weeks. The date of this article is May 24th. So we're looking definitely at 2 weeks. I guess this was at the shareholder meeting when they had the Cybertruck on a static display, and it was roped off as far as I knew, but somehow somebody was able to get to sit inside the vehicle, which is a great achievement in itself, but then snap a photo. And it's a weird angle. It's distorted because it's a wide angle. So I've got a lot of comments. Let me see if I can go down. If you're watching at home and you haven't for some reason seen this photo yet, here's the actual full photo. And you can see in the foreground, there's the two Ys with the different colors from Europe, from Berlin. I guess they brought over for the event. They brought them over, but they're not here in North America. That's strange. Anyways, you can see this guy. This guy, he doesn't even know it, but he became famous. There's a guy on the right-hand side of this windshield that just happened to photobomb this photo when it was going through. Give me 1 second, folks. Sorry, I was trying to mute it. as I sneeze, remember I told you if you were watching or listening since the beginning, I had a sneezing fit, allergies or the smoke from the forest fires. I don't know what it is. I tried to mute it there so you didn't have to hear my sneeze, but I didn't hit the button. And then when I did hit the button, it was after the sneeze. Sorry. Getting back to this picture. So this has polarized people. So many people complained and said they hate it, and so many people said they love it. And at this point, I think it's 50-50. I don't know if anyone's done an exact poll, but anyways, some complaints were the A-pillar being so huge, it'd be a giant blind spot, to the Alcantara dash that goes out to the windshield that is vast and it's huge. To, I think the biggest thing that people complained about that didn't like it was the steering wheel. It's a wheel, but it's almost a yoke, almost like a woke. And I don't want to make that joke because it's stupid, but almost like that. So it's, if you haven't seen a picture, go Google Cybertruck interior, and I bet you apples to oranges that this picture will show up of this guy in it. The screen looks a little distorted because of the angle and stuff like that. And then another thing, another bone of contention with some people is this center console, which was supposed to be a bench seat, to be a six-seater, but we all know, as far as we know, it's not going to be anymore. So this is a center console with some storage there, and it looks like they're sort of mimicking the vault cover or the tonneau cover, where it probably retracts, but this one probably retracts manually. And then down by the guy's foot, or down by the driver's foot, in between the driver and the passenger, there's no console area. It's almost like a void area where you can almost pass through or put some baggage there or something. So I don't know if this is the full and final production, folks. I mean, a lot of people are up in arms after seeing this picture, and then keeping in mind, we don't know if this is the full thing, or the final, not the full thing, the final thing. So we don't know. One thing to note in this picture, there's no stocks. So it looks like, which we suspected. I think we saw other photos from side profiles when the doors were open, that the Cybertruck didn't have stocks. So all the turn signals, as you can see, if you zoom in on this picture, you can see the turn signal. Let me see if I can go full screen for you guys here. Yeah, I don't know if that helped. But no, that didn't help at all. But on the left-hand side of the steering wheel, that's where the turn signals are. It looks like a soft touch or a haptic touch or something like that. So that is it. That's the Cybertruck interior, we suspect, in all its glory. Julio says, here's a question. He's got, oh, do you still have a down payment on the Cybertruck? Well, I don't have a down payment, but I think I know what you mean. I'm just mixing words here, and I apologize for that. Splitting hairs. I have a reservation, the 150. I guess you know what, Julio? I guess you could consider that a down payment, because I won't get that back if I go ahead with an order. They will put that 150 towards the price of the vehicle, and it probably won't make a dent in it. I've got my reservation still, and I'm waiting to see what the price is. Like I've told all my friends and family, I'd love to get this Cybertruck. I just don't know how much it's going to cost. And now that they've done it for a while. They've taken the pricing off the internet, off their website, and now there's no pricing. We all suspect, and I think it's safe to assume, that they're going to put the price up, and it's not going to be the $39,900, $49,900, and $69,900. Basically, 40, 50, and 70,000 price points anymore. We don't even know if those are going to be the same, trim levels in single, dual, and triple or tri-motor. I suspect they'll still have the dual. I suspect they'll have a tri-motor or a quad motor. I don't know. The single motor, I'm almost certain that that's probably gone. So, yeah, I still have it, Julio. Whether I get it still or not, all depends on how much they're going to want for this thing, and they could want a lot of money. Who knows? Because let's face it, and this is what I tell my friends and family: if it's up there, like north of six figures here in Canada, well, if it's six figures US, then definitely not. But in Canada, because I live in Canada, if it's six figures, then yeah, I can't see me being able to afford that. I mean, I'd love it, but let's face it, it can't break the bank. I've got a family and I've got a budget. And as much as I love to drive around in this alien shaped strange thing, can't do it all the time. So that's the interior. So moving right along, while we're on the topic of Cybertruck, we might as well keep it consistent. And this came out just a couple days ago. This article brought to you by Drive Tesla Canada and Darren. This one shows what it appears to be rear castings at the Giga Texas factory. And they're so huge, one could only assume, and also because I think we know what the shape of the Model Y rear casting is, that this isn't it. So we're all assuming, me included, that this is the Cybertruck. I mean, what else? For one, I mean, we have nothing to show in terms of scalability, how big it is next to something. There's some yellow rails, but they're all stacked up. So you can't see how big it is. We can only assume that it's fairly big. But yeah, rear castings. That's a good news in my opinion. That doesn't mean. Let me. I posted this on my Facebook Cybertruck page, and some people got excited. I mean, and it's fine to get excited, but some people thought that production's any minute now or any day now. What I think it is probably is them getting ready or them testing out the press, the Giga Press, and these are things whether they're being discarded or they're good. Or they're just testing them and measuring them and doing all the progress with it. Who knows? But we at least know that something is coming out there, and it looks pretty impressive. It was these pictures, by the way, they were from Joe Tagmeyer. He's the drone operator that's down in Texas that brings great drone videos and photos, and including this one. This must have been outside the factory somewhere, and he took a quick snap of it, and that's what we see. He took this one on June 2nd. So almost a week old, this photo. So it's good to know. Progress is being made. I have a good feeling that they're going to... I don't want to jinx it. You know what? I'm not going to say it. I don't want to jinx it at all. So let me just move on. Moving on, as you can tell, in case you haven't noticed, I'm pretty superstitious, and I'm also suspicious too, which I almost said. Yeah, I could be superstitious at times. Call me weird. Next topic to discuss is the Tesla app. Well, we know there was a. Let me go down and see which version it is before I go any further. What version of the app was it? It's the latest one. I'm just trying to see if there's a number here. Oh yeah, version 4.21.5 or 4.21.5. That's the latest mobile app version. And now, as we know, it always comes out for iOS first, which is Apple, and then it comes out for Android afterwards. So I'm not sure if Android has it, but this came out a couple days ago. But it hints that impending launch of kilowatt per hour billing in Canadian superchargers. So I'm not going to get huge into this or heavy into this, but in a nutshell, for our American listeners, if you didn't know, and I think some states are like this too. I think it's a mixed bag down in the US. In Canada, because of our Measures Act, when they sell electricity, they can only sell it to you per minute, I believe. And they just got it, the Tesla and a bunch of other people probably, some kind of petition or something, went to the Canadian government and wanted to get it changed for supercharging or for any kind of EV charging. Now we can get billed per kilowatt hour as opposed to like the actual energy as opposed to the time. And they relented and they changed it, but it hasn't been implemented yet. So I think I got it right. Let me read. I should. Oh, Measures Canada. It's not the Measures Act, but I think there's a Measure Act. But Tesla and other EV charging providers worked with Measurement Canada to implement kilowatt hour billing, and this lasted over 2 years. So they've actually finally done it, but I don't think there's anybody that's doing it yet. I think Tesla will be the first one. Rather than current standard, which is based on how long you're plugged in, kilowatt hour billing is akin to how gas cars owners. Oh, that's a perfect way of summing it up, Darren. It's using the analogy of gas. Like when you're at a gas station and you're pumping gas, they don't charge you for 5 minutes or 6 minutes per minute or per second. They charge you for how much actual gasoline in liters or gallons that you're pumping into your tank. And this is the same thing. They want to now charge you how many kilowatts, how much actual energy is it that you're using. And I think it's better. I think it's better overall. I know some of my friends debate that and think it'll be more money. And I don't know. I don't see it. I don't see how it can be, but who knows? We'll see. We'll see, because at the end of the day, whether it's really fast at the peak at a supercharger, and you know how that never stays high or long, and then it comes back down and throttles down, and then so now you're taking longer in that 1 minute to put energy into your car, whereas 5 minutes ago when you're at the peak, you're getting more energy within that minute. I think you guys get it. I don't need to sit here and explain to you. So yeah, Julio, you know what, Julio, you are my guest on or my co-pilot, I guess you could say. He's totally interacting with me here. So he's saying finally, which is true. It's finally, it's about time. I take it, or I shouldn't assume. I was going to say, I assume you're Canadian by you liking it, but you could be American or somewhere else and see that it's a good thing. So it doesn't matter. Moving right along, let's talk. You know what? We did a few Tesla ones. Let's move on to Ford. Now, this is a fun little thing. I don't want to take too much on space on this or time on this, but I'll tell you about it. Ford. I'll just read the headlines. Ford to bring back AM radio to Mustang Mach-E and F-150 Lightning. So basically, anyone that knows, in a nutshell, I might not be the best person to go through this with you guys because I might not get it right. But in a nutshell, in EVs, AM is very hard. The way the AM radio waves work, or it's not even radio waves, it's some kind of modulation. Electric vehicle batteries, or the frequency that they put out or they run on, or the motors spin on, not the batteries, I think it's the motors they spin on, contradicts and interferes with the AM signal. So that's why there is a way to do it, but that's why it's easier for these manufacturers, including Tesla, to just not put AM in there. So before this article came out on May 24th, I'm looking right here. I think a week before that, or a few days before that, Ford had announced that they were dropping AM in their EVs. And then what happened? Now they're backpedaling. And you know what? I was the first to say, yeah, you don't need AM anymore. If you need AM, you can go HD radio. It has a lot of AM affiliates and a lot of AM radio stations in the HD version of FM radio. So I said, yeah, you don't need it. Or streaming, right? Streaming, but not everyone wants to pay for streaming. So, or not even paying. Not everyone has the ability to stream and pick up a signal, an LTE signal or a 5G signal where they live. They may be remote, right? So this is what the argument was. There was a consortium, I believe, of basically, I think it was something that came down from the Senate. Yeah, a group of senators, bipartisan senators in the House of Representatives, introduced an act called AM for Every Vehicle Act. And that basically is a bill to that aims to mandate the inclusion of AM radio in cars without imposing additional premiums. And their reasoning behind it, they said that it's the AM format is crucial role for emergencies and potential risks associated with its removal. So yeah, I get it. A lot of times when there are natural disasters or some kind of emergencies and a lot of other systems are down, like television or even the internet, AM is a tried, tested, true, easy technology that you can pick up almost anywhere. So they're saying for those kind of emergencies, it's good to keep AM alive. And I can't argue that. I mean, if it comes to public safety, then yeah, we have to look at a better way to do this and find. I mean, if they can do half of the stuff they do in these EVs or just technology these days, if you could wear glasses and you can see everything in 3D and people looking at you wearing the glasses can see your eyes that aren't your eyes, if you know what I'm talking about, in the last couple of days, you'll know what I'm talking about, by Apple. If they can do that kind of technology and charge $3,500 for it, and people will buy it, then they've got to be able to find a way to do this, to have both live harmoniously together. So Jim Farley tweeted out back on the 23rd, after speaking with policy leaders about the importance of AM broadcast radio as part of the emergency alert systems, we decided to include it in all our 2024 Ford and Lincoln vehicles. For any owners of a Ford EV without AM broadcast capabilities, we'll offer a software update. I don't see the whole tweet here. It says show more, but I'm assuming he says software update to enable that. So that was Jim Farley, the CEO of Ford. So, like I said, I don't want to dwell on it too much, but the only reason I brought it up is because I was a proponent. Yeah, we don't need AM radio. And now, after hearing this, I believe it is important, and I've changed my mind. Look at that. Hey, I changed my mind. I'm not a stubborn old man like my kids say that I am. Moving right along, we've got one more topic. This is the last one. And once again, we're not diving deep into this one, but it's just food for thought. It's something that came up in the last, within the month. And I thought that, it'd be interesting thing to talk about on the podcast, and, it's newsworthy. By Drive Tesla Canada, this one says Tesla includes some undocumented changes in the latest FSD beta software. So the latest one is 11.4.2, and Tesla's famous for this. They in their software updates, they put stuff in there or they change things and they don't mention it. That's why it's called undocumented. But the biggest thing, and the reason I want to bring this up, is I think whether you have FSD or not, one of the biggest things that bugs people, including myself, yours truly, is the automatic wipers. Yes, you could be driving down the road on a bright, sunny, blue sky day, and your car is completely clean, including the windshield, no bugs, and your auto wipers just start wiping a dry windshield. And it not only that it looks ridiculous to other drivers around you, it's annoying as heck, because if you've got good wipers and you've got a dry windshield, it makes that chattering sound, and it just that's one of my biggest pet peeves. Give me nails on a chalkboard any day over that. So where this all became was discovered from was our buddy, our good friend Green the Only on Twitter. He discovered, by going through the code like he usually does, interesting tidbits. He says, where does it say here that he talks about the automatic wipers? Okay. Anyways, he's the one that found it. There was one part that I wanted to read that he said, but I can't find it here. So he tweeted that out, saying that it looks like they're going to change it. And then right after that, Elon came on to Twitter and he said, because Tesla Latino tweeted out, AP or autopilot auto wipers need to be fixed, Elon. At the very least, allow us to cancel the wipes while on autopilot. It makes no sense to allow this to keep happening. And he has a video, exactly what I described. He's driving down in Florida, and dry, sunny day, as you can see, a little bit of clouds, but nothing on the windshield, and the wipers are just going, and he says it, he says it here in Spanish. Actually, sorry, this isn't his video. Or his tweet, he actually retweeted it. It was another Spanish follower of his that he retweeted. But anyways, Elon saw that tweet by Tesla Latino, and he said, sorry, this is one of the last neural nets to be updated to surround video from a single camera, single frame. So he didn't, take it for whatever it's worth. He didn't come out and say it will be fixed, but he said he apologized, which first off tells you that he's, owning up to that and admitting that something's wrong. Someone that says sorry usually means that they're admitting that something's wrong. And he says this is one of the last neural nets to be updated. So does that mean it's being updated soon or not? But we're not sure. But in the code, and let me go back up because I was looking for that. By the way, this is all called Deep Brain, where Tesla and Elon talked about this new software called Deep Brain that was using the cameras to do it, where they went away from a rain sensor, which every other traditional automaker uses. So this was back in 2019 is when, so it's about 3-4 years now. Deep Brain neural net. So there was a part where I think Green the Only actually says that it's allowed to be turned off in the latest the latest FSD beta, that you can turn it off. Or if I can't, I don't want to sit here and read it while you guys are listening. So basically, it's coming. If it isn't already here in the beta, it's coming soon, and that's bodes good news for all of us. Meaning that eventually we will not be a slave to this stupid wiper system. We can control it ourselves. They did it originally with when all the cameras went to vision only or camera only, and it went vision based, and they got right over the radar. They did it originally with the autopilot thing too, where the high beams were also automatic and you couldn't adjust that. They changed that after a short period of time, where they allowed you, it would come on automatically, but they allowed you while you're on autopilot to manually turn it off for that session. So hopefully this one comes sooner than later, because I would be, and I know everyone, and I know all you guys would also love it. But you know what? Julio, where is he here? Julio, oh, he is Canadian. He's from Ottawa. I think you told me this once before, buddy, and I forget. He says he's found them better since the latest update. Is that the latest the beta update, the FSD beta, or just the regular update? I'm curious which update you're talking about, because like I was saying at the beginning of the show, I didn't think I'd ever be complaining about this or missing it, but we haven't had a lot of rain in Southern Ontario where I am, or in terms of the country, we haven't had a lot of rain. So I couldn't tell you since the last update if the wipers are working better. He's saying he has regular. He doesn't have FSD. So yeah, okay. Well, I'll take your word for it. Maybe it's raining out in Ottawa more than it is here in Southern Ontario. But that's it. That's all the topics for. So we did like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 topics. I'd like to say it's a record. I don't know. I don't follow it that much. I don't follow it. I don't keep track of how many articles we talk about on the podcast on a podcast by podcast basis. So that's the end of it. The one thing I want to say before I go, because we're coming up to the 1 hour mark, and we're going to keep this to the 1 hour mark if I can, as close to it. If you're listening to me and you're in Southern Ontario, or even, Southern Ontario or the Greater Toronto Area, also known as the GTA, we're doing a meetup. This is like a meetup, but and I've done meetups before. If anyone goes to my Facebook group or is member of Tesla GTA Club, you know that we do drives and meetups and stuff like that for Tesla. This one, I'm trying to expand. We're trying to expand. This one's going to be not called the Tesla meetup or a Tesla meetup. This one's going to be a EV meetup. So obviously, predominantly, it's going to be Tesla. It'll probably be 10-1. But if you know anyone that has a Tesla, tell them about this if they don't follow me and they want to do it. I'll give you the information, the who, what, where, and when in a minute. But if you know anyone that wants to and can make it at that particular date and time, then tell them to come by. It'll be fun. Right now, we've got well over, last time I checked, which was last night, we had over 40 people already. And I only posted this like 3 days ago. That RSVP'd and said they're going to come. By the way, it's very important that you RSVP because I need to know numbers for the for working with the organizers and stuff like that, or the other people that are helping me out. Anyways, tell your friends if they don't have a Tesla, that's fine. They don't have to have a Tesla. If they've got if they've got a Hyundai, they've got a Kia, they've got a Ford. Actually, I would love to have a Ford Lightning out there. I'd love to have a Kia or a Hyundai out there. Ideally, and I posted this in the Rivian Canada Facebook group just earlier this evening, and I don't know if it'll actually work out, but ideally, I would love, and it's a wish list, and like I said, it's a long shot, but I'd love to have a Rivian there. Now, I know Rivians here in Canada are only being sold right now and put out to people out in BC on the West Coast. We don't have, and the main reason for that is they've got a service center and a sales center there. We don't have one. We have one coming, hopefully by the end of the year or the last quarter of this year, but right now we don't. So the few that we see are people that are on road trips from out west or more likely down in the States, and they come up from New York State and stuff like that. So if you're listening to this and you're in New York State and you're close to the border, you want to come up for the day, we'd love to have you and love to see your Rivian. It will get lots of attraction. Trust me, it will. It's a vehicle loved by everyone. I don't know anyone that doesn't like Rivians. Anyways, maybe some gas guzzling people. But my point is, even if you don't have an EV or you have a friend or a neighbor that's thinking about an EV and they don't have one yet, but they're on the fence or just dabbling with the idea, tell them about this. Tell them to come out because it's an informative session. It's not just one of these things where we all get together and we show off our cars and just talk shop. We will do that too. But if anyone comes, and that's one of the main reasons I'm doing this, is to have exposure, and that's why we're doing it out in the public, is if anyone comes out that doesn't have an EV that has questions about it, we're there to help out and answer all the questions. A lot of people that come to these EV meetups and stuff like that, or Tesla meetups, are very informative, and they know their stuff, and they can give you all the information. Anyways, before I say any more, let me give you the date. The date is Sunday, June 25th of this year. So it's 2.5 weeks away. Yeah, I think about 2.5 weeks away. Time, starting at 11. You can come anytime between 11 and 3. Don't come at 3 because that's probably when we're ending. But that ending time is, flexible. So starting at 11, that's the main thing. So the location, I do a lot in the West End where I live, the West End of Toronto. And then I get people complain, oh, I live in the East End, I can't make it out there and stuff like that. So I get that. So I wanted to make this as central as I can. So people north of the city, you'll have to drive and you probably stop at a supercharger or whatever, can make it. People in the east end of the city, in the Durham area, or even further east, can come. And people in the west end, like myself, as far as Niagara, can come out. This one is going to be in Markham at the Markville Shopping Center. Technically, I don't know if it's Markham, but anyways, the Markville Shopping Center. It's at it is actually technically Markham, 5000 Highway 7, Markham. Just Google Markville Shopping Center, you'll see it. We're going to do it in the parking lot. It's going to be right next to the Tesla superchargers and the Flow charging station. So the Flow has some level 3 chargers there. So that's why I'm saying, if you don't have a Tesla, but you want to still make it and you need a charge, there's a Flow charging station right there. You can come and charge up. And here's if you're watching at home, here is the little, I guess, flyer. You can see there's a Tesla, there's other cars. It's not Tesla. There's a Lightning. Like I said, I'd like to get Lightning there, and any kind of EV. Like, I mean, Polestar, anything you have, I'd like to see it out there. So bring all your EVs, and showcase it and show everyone your car and educate us about it. That will be, once again, Sunday, June 25th at 11 a.m. at the Markville Shopping Center. Just look for the superchargers and look for all the cars. That's probably where we're going to be. We're going to have, hopefully, I'll say it, but it's not carved in stone. We should have some refreshments there for everyone. We're definitely going to have prizes and giveaways. So we'll make it fun for everyone. As we do for all these things, we do little raffle tickets when you come and stuff like that. Another important part of this is free of charge. There's no cost for this. We're not spending any money, so we're not asking for any money. It shouldn't cost you anything. It's a fun day out, weather permitting, obviously. If it's pouring rain, and I just jinxed myself 5 minutes ago by saying we're not getting any rain. So if we happen to get rain on June 25th, I don't know. It'll probably be canceled because it's an outdoor event. So hopefully it won't be raining. We'll watch the weather carefully, but put it down on your calendars if you're in the area, or even if, like I said, if you're down in the States and it's attainable for you to cross over the border and come visit us and bring us a rare EV that we wouldn't have up here in Canada, we would love to see it. That is Sunday, June 25th at 11 a.m. Markville Shopping Center. And that's all I got. That's my little, I guess, advertising. I'm not asking for money, so I don't know if I consider it advertising, but that's it there. You have to RSVP. So what I would suggest is you just Google Tesla GTA Club. Just do a Google search for that. I'll do one right now. Tesla GTA Club. You put that all in there, and now it won't be the Tesla Motors Club. It's supposed to be here. Where is it? I guess I shouldn't have done this live. Maybe I should just space it out. Dax. Maybe that's what you super. Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. So when you space it out, then it takes you to our webpage, and it says how to become a member. Now, to become a member, it's free. There's no cost in it. But when you go there, it redirects you to the meetup.com page, and that's where you can become a member. Like I said, it's free. We don't ask for information. We don't sell your information. This is the meetup club, or the meetup page that asks for it, and I don't know why. But when you sign up, then you can RSVP to this. So that's what I suggest. You go to Tesla GTA Club, search that, separate it. Don't be a dummy like me. Separate it, and it'll all be there. Just follow the links, sign up, and come to have a fun event. That's all I got, folks. Sorry to rant on about that for the last 10 minutes after the podcast. But if you have any questions, like I said, for any future podcasts, shoot me an email or find me on social media. But an email is probably the most central way and the best way to do it. Questions with an S, plural, questions at the Regen channel.com. All one word, theregenchannel.com. Okay, folks, thanks for watching. Appreciate all you guys listening and taking your time out, and we will catch you. Oh, I was going to tell you before I go, I'm going to tell you the next date, because like I said, I have it here in my phone. Let me go to my calendar. So today, as I'm recording this, is June 7th, and for your audio listeners, you'll probably have it within a couple days in your podcast platforms. The next one will be July 5th. Wednesday, July 5th is the next podcast, folks. We will catch you then, or shortly after if you listen to the audio portion. Take care. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.